Hey guys, what's up? It's Dreadscape Gaming here, and today we're going to be taking a look at an endgame build for Sword and Shield using the Primordial Malzena armor. Now keep in mind, if you're on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, this armor will not be available to you till the 16.0 update, which will be going live somewhere in the middle of August, so keep that in mind. This is, at the moment, only for PC and Nintendo Switch users, but you will have access to farm for this armor at the middle of August. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into the build, shall we? So first off, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. We're basically using the Lucent Narkuga Sword and Shield. As you see here, it has 345 attack, really good purple sharpness. Element has 11 poison, but we can augment that to get it better. It has 0 affinity, but what's really good about this particular Sword and Shield is the fact that it has a level 4 slot and a level 2 slot. Alright, Primordial Helm has 2 level 4 slots. It gives you Blood Right level 3 naturally, everything else is gemmed in. Primordial Mail gives you 2 level 4 slots and a level 2 slot. Here you have Blood Awakening level 1, Burst level 1 naturally, everything else is gemmed in. Primordial Van Braces, you get 2 level 4 sockets and a level 2 socket. Here you have Blood Awakening level 1 and Critical Boost level 1 naturally, everything else is gemmed in. Primordial Coil, we have 2 level 4 sockets and a level 2 socket here. Here you get Burst level 2 and Critical Boost level 1 naturally, everything else is gemmed in. Primordial Greaves, we have a level 4 socket and another level 4 socket here. Here you get Blood Awakening level 1, Critical Boost level 1, and Part Breaker level 3, all naturally, everything else is gemmed in. Underworld Petulance is the one I'm using, but you could use whatever you want to have. For my talisman, this is going to be hard for a lot of people to get, but this is the one that works best for what I need to do for my build. It's a guard level 5, which means you're going to have a very tough time trying to get that roll. I also have a level 2 socket and a level 1 socket here. So, I know this is kind of asking for a lot from people, but yeah, you want a guard level 5 here. It's very important for this build, so hopefully you can get a best in slot. Alright. For the decorations, we have Hard Drain Jewel 4 and a Tenderizer Jewel 2 in our weapon, as well as the Wire Bug Jewel 1 Rampage slot, because unfortunately it has a level 1 Rampage slot. For the Primordial Helm, we have Guardian Jewel 3 and a Razor Jewel plus 4. For the Primordial Mail, we have Hard Steadfast Jewel 4 and a Razor Jewel plus 4, with Wire Bug Jewel 2. For the Primordial Van Braces, we have Hard Brace Jewel 4, a Guardian Jewel plus 4, and a KO Jewel 2. For the Primordial Coil, we have Shield Jewel plus 4, another Shield Jewel plus 4, and a Tenderizer Jewel 2. For the Primordial Greaves, we have a Hard Venom Jewel 4 and a KO Jewel plus 4. For my Talisman, I have Tenderizer Jewel 2 and a Shockproof Jewel 1. Let's give you a full breakdown of the stats here. So, you're going to have 360 attack, element, poison, 18, 0% affinity. For the defensive stats, we have 988 defense. This is with maxed out armor spears on every piece of the gear, as well as having a augment in stability with at least plus 10 on every piece of the gear. Fire resistance minus 7, water resistance plus 13, thunder resistance plus 13, ice resistance minus 2, dragon resistance minus 22. Now, for full breakdown of the stats, we have Guard level 5, reduces knockback and stamina depletion when guarding. At level 5, greatly decreases the impact of attacks and reduces stamina depletion by 50%. Razor Sharp level 3 prevents your weapon from losing sharpness. At level 3, activates 50% of the time. Guard up level 3 allows you to guard against ordinarily unblockable attacks. At level 3, reduces damage taken by 80%, which is very significant. Critical Boost level 3, increase the damage of critical hits. At level 3, increase damage dealt by critical hits to 40%. Weakness Exploit level 3, increase the affinity of attacks that exploit a monster's weak spot. At level 3, attacks that hit weak spots have 50% increased affinity. Poison attack level 3, increase the rate of poison buildup. Poison buildup has a maximum limit. At level 3, poison buildup plus 20%, and a bonus plus 5. Offensive Guard 3, temporary increase attack power after executing a perfectly timed guard. Level 3 perfect attack, basically plus 15% while active. So basically attack 15% while active when you perfectly guard. Sluggard level 3 makes it easier to stun monsters. At level 3, stun power 40%. Stamina Thief, increase certain attacks ability to exhaust monsters. Exhaust power plus 40%. These two are very important because you can actually get knocked down with the shield. in case you don't know that. So that's why I'm using both of this. Stun resistance level 3, reduce stun duration, level 3 prevents stun. Part breaker level 3 makes it easier to break or sever monsters' parts. Because we are using a sword and shield, we have access to both of those things really easily. Because the shield, we could do blunt damage, and with the sword, we could do cutting, sever damage. Flinch free level 3 prevents knockbacks and or reactions to small damage. At level 3 prevents knockbacks and tripping. Blood rate level 3 works in conjunction with part breaker. A portion of damage dealt is converted to health when striking a broken monster part. At level 3, further increase the amount of health you recover. Burst level 3, not too important in this weapon, but it does have its uses. Continuously landing hits gradually increases attack and elemental attack. The amount of increase depends on the weapon. At level 3, upon attack hit, temp attack plus 5, element plus 5, hit 5/6 times for a huge stat boost. Blood Awakening level 3, it works in conjunction with Blood Right, which works in conjunction with Part Breaker. And this is only a unique skill to the Primordial Malzeno armor, keep that in mind. Gradually bolsters your attacks for a certain period of time, depending on how much health you regain when landing attacks. At level 5, or excuse me, at level 3, adds a bigger bonus increase to effects that bolster your attacks. Reload speed 2, don't matter, it's on the talisman, not important. Wire Bug Whisper, level 1, improves your handling of wire bugs. At level 1, extends the duration you can keep a wire bug by 30%. Kind of useful. Shock Absorber, level 1, very important in this build, disables damage reactions when you hit a friend or when a friend hits you. Does not apply during certain status ailments. Basically, this is great for multiplayer because you will not trip your teammates, and your teammates will not trip you or hit you out of your attacks. Alright, so I'm going to do a very quick demonstration with the Great Azuchi, that way you can see how it works. I am using transmogs here, so my sword might look like it's the Ninja Blade. And my armor is going to look like buff body with the pants. That's not the case. That's just, I like nice transmog fits. And this is the cutest thing for my avatar. It makes her look pretty much like a badass. That's why I use this particular one. If you're wondering what I used, it's basically buff body, everything except the pants, with the Risen Tiastra helm, where obviously I've covered it, the color to red. And then for the pants, I'm using one of the event pants. I think it's actually the only event pants that you can get in the game, to my knowledge. So that's basically how I created this particular fit. So I'm going to give a quick demonstration. Best thing I could say with Sword and Shield is think of it as a slower version of the Dual Blades, in terms of how it kind of attacks. But it also can do blunt damage with its shield. So it's kind of like using a slower Dual Blades with kind of like some hammer elements to it. The other benefit to Sword and Shield is you can actually use items while you're guarding. Although, most of the time you don't really want to do that, but it kind of comes in a little convenient. It's the only weapon where you can do that too. Alright. So, for this demonstration, you go to the Azuchi. Should be right here. So basically what you're going to be doing is kind of using your shield and sword in conjunction. So, depending on also what your skill binds are, but mostly what I like to do is I'll try to go for, let's guard here. Alright. See there that I can get a quick stun? That's because I used the shield. So here, what you want to do is you kind of want to mix it up. I also have, oh, we got the stun, perfect. The Shoryuken skill bind, which is like Norgogeki, if I'm pronouncing that right. So, basically, you just kind of mix up the combos. It's very easy to use. You can pretty much even button mash if you want to. And you'll pretty much do well. I can also jump in here, lift myself up, get a drop down. That attack particularly is better when you're fighting against wider monsters. So, usually when I'm fighting slower monsters like this, or I guess narrow monsters would be a better way, what I like to do is I just kind of keep it very simple with the combos and see if I can get as many knockdowns as possible. Alright, he's gonna tell. So we're gonna block here. Alright, good. Nerfing that you could do. Let me wait on this. I hit a Ner enemy, that's why I did that. Let's block. I can go Shoryuken here. I got most of the attack, and then I can come down for a stun, as you saw there. Oh. That was perfect, Jack. Let's see if I can get that hit, because I don't have any wire bugs. That's the only reason why I'm not doing it. I think we just got, yep, the mountain game there. As you can see, Blood Awakening also is going off quite a bit. Okay. We're going to play the minigame real quick. This is great because it actually is resetting the wire bugs too, so I can do another Shoryuken. That's what we're going to do. I don't like the fact that our AIs, though, planted the bomb right there. Let's go. Shoryuken. We don't always get a KO, but it's pretty easy to get most of the time. And on top of that, we're getting also poison, so the blast build up there, or not the blast build up, the poison build up is pretty good. Let me wait. Strike here. Might be able to get a return. Alright, let's wait. I'm gonna just get out of the way here. Okay, good. Let's go blade attack here. You see, it's very similar to dual blade, just a little bit slower. And with a shield, which is good. Alright, I think I can get another Shoryuken here. That gives us a knockdown. Perfect. That takes up, keep in mind, too. Ooh, overshot that because it was a small monster. Every water bug attacks when you do it, so you want to be a little bit more cautious. Monster's almost in blue, which means if you wanted to, you could capture it or kill it. It's very close to death right now. I don't really use this attack because it doesn't really do much. It's good for evading. That's about it. Bigger monsters are really here. Alright, so it's going to go to sleep. We're going to Shoryuken again. We got a massive amount of damage and pretty much KO it there. And that's pretty much the guide to how you play Sword and Shield. You can make it a little bit more fancier. You can play around with whatever wire bug skills you want, your switch skills as they call them. It's really a matter of your own personal preference. I prefer the Shoryuken, and I prefer obviously going a little bit more shield based as opposed to some people who don't go as much shield based and prefer to go more blade based. I kind of feel like it's when you're playing a multiplayer, it's more important to try to get those knockdowns as opposed to really going. Another thing is this attack, which I didn't get to show it off too much, is really great for when you're fighting like very wide monsters, like let's say a Tetradon, some of the Risen Dragons. Another thing that you can do, the other switch skills, is you can use this one, which I don't prefer. You can also use basically what's called the Destroyer Oil. This increases your sharpness and also makes it easier to stun monsters. But the problem with that particular skill is the way I built my armor, you don't really need it because you're not going to really lose sharpness, and I've already gemmed in stuff to get the KO. So, you know, it makes it easier where you're not having to constantly switch between switch skills, pun intended. Alright guys, so let's see what the clear time is going to be here. I'm thinking probably somewhere between maybe 4 minutes. If we get 3 minutes, I'd be very surprised. We did play pretty optimal now. Let's see. Alright, so we got 3 minutes and 54-second clear time. So if you follow the build exactly the way I have it set up, gem in the things that I do, play the weapon that I do, and also obviously play around with your augmentations on the weapon to your own personal preferences, you should be able to do exactly what you saw on this build. Ironically, this is the very last Primordial Malzeno endgame build that I can actually show you for what I think are the best weapons to use for each, you know, build for Primordial Malzeno. So we've covered all, if I remember correctly, 14 weapons. I will put these all available in a playlist. So the next things that we're going to be looking for at on this channel in terms of builds is I'm going to go back and take a look at some of the older Risen Dragons, because some of them have very niche builds that you can't get onto the Primordial Malzeno armor. So we're going to take a look at Risen Tiastra, we're going to take a look at Risen Kushala, and maybe even Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax. So anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, a like on this video is greatly appreciated. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely consider doing so, as it helps the channel grow. And I will see you for the next one. Until next time, guys.